the next project I got to do, or going to do, is the dash. I've mentioned a couple times I'm moving the ignition switch hole. Let's see, finger. Oh, there we go. Moving the ignition switch hole somewhere over in here. I got to plug up nearly all these holes. I will be keeping, of course, the, come here, finger, the wiper and the, what is it, wiper and headlight switch that are over here. I'll be keeping those in stock place. That big hole, I'll leave it. I believe this hole, big hole will go, and I think all of these will go. I've got holes cut and plugged for the first 3 holes I'm welding up. This one, and this one, and this one. I just made plugs on my bandsaw, use the hole saw, pull the pilot bit out, clamp the piece of metal in, and just, you know, did it that way. It works as long as you clamp it down and hold it so it doesn't move without the arbor in it. I'm just going to tack these in first. These magnets are going to mess with my weld art, but like I said before, I had to deal with it. Just enough to get them tacked in place. I was going to tell you about these magnets I bought. I bought a smaller size magnet. They're made like this, like little chess, like palm pieces on a chess set, sort of. They're smaller in diameter than the Eastwood type. These, wherever they are, they're not near as strong, but for something like this, smaller ones works out much better. So again, I got the welder pretty hot, trying to get in there and tacks and get out without making a big old weld blob. So let's just see how it goes here. And sometimes you can push the wire out, then clip it off. You're trying to get kind of precise where your bead starts. Because if you don't, if your wire is back up inside the nozzle, you know, sometimes you can't always get a good accurate spot. In little places like this, that kind of does make a difference. Where you're trying to be pretty accurate where your spot weld goes. Or weld, any type for that matter. Now we'll hit 2 more spots, tack. That's a little warm still, but it did good for tacking. Let me try these 2 over here. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit when I start to weld. But it is pretty hot for this thinner metal. Alright, this little bitty one, that's going to be tough. It's small, it's like 1 inch in diameter. It's liable to give me a hard time. Maybe it won't. Nope. Pushed right out. Okay. Hot too. We got bead, we got wire in there. We don't need that. So this one's going to fight me. I was afraid this small one was going to fight me. Oh wait, I didn't grind it. Well, that's partly my fault. Or maybe a lot my fault. Duh. That wasn't going to weld at all. I'm just going to clean out the inside edge of primer. That's primer down in there. that doesn't matter in your weld, but it does. Now, you don't have to do it, but you're going to get trash in your weld if you don't, so might as well do it. Alright, let's try this again. Maybe it'll work better this time with it being ground down. It certainly should. Amazing how much better that works. Alright. Let me turn the heat down a little bit. And see if we can get these welded up without too much trouble. Still don't want to jump around. I don't want to put too much heat in one area. Even though that's still flat, kind of got curved contour to it, it'll still warp. I don't expect to be able to metal finish that. It might come out okay on metal finish. I don't know, it may wind up taking a dab of filler too, you never know. We're getting there. That might have been a little cold over there. Might have been a little hotter, but it's welded. Got more of a build-up of weld bead than I'd like, but oh well. There's no sense you sitting here watching me grind this whole thing. Okay, I had the 3 holes welded up. I grounded them down. One was here, one was there, and the other one's over there. I haven't DA'd this side yet because this is where I got to cut out and weld these 2 holes up. And I guess I'm going to put my ignition switch in somewhere right along in there. So I'm just going to cut out a square piece here. Instead of having to cut these out with a big round hole and fill them like that, I'm just going to cut a rectangular piece, fit the switch, ignition switch to it, and then weld it up. Well, there's that for now. So I'll get to work on the ignition switch. So I'll start working on the ignition switch section next. I started making the piece to go in the dash for the ignition switch. Now it's got that housing that sits in there with the 3 little tabs, and then the bezel goes in the front. Anyway, here's the piece I cut out. That's the front, where I have to mimic these little slots. So I started doing, I already cut the hole, took a die grinder and opened it up to be the correct size die grinder with a carbide bit. And I started filing these slots, and I forgot to get the camera out while I was doing this. This is pretty darn tedious and slow going, so I'll set the camera up for a minute or two just to show you how I'm doing it, but it's extremely slow going and you're not going to watch all this. So just hold on a minute. There's not a very good way to film this. All I'm doing is taking this piece and putting it in my vise. I'm using a die grinder. Got a little small triangular bit that goes down pretty small. I'm just using the very tip here just to start the grind. Can't go far with it because you'll overdo it. I'm just getting it started with the die grinder, and I've got a very small file here that's just about the right width to file in there and file that knot. It's tedious and you got to go slow, but if you don't, you get in a hurry, you'll ruin it. So basically I'm just going to start here for a moment or two. I guess I'll let this damn light on, it's dead. That's great. Hang on. Battery life on that thing's already not good. Of course, leaving it plugged in, turned on. Leaving it turned on overnight certainly did not help. So anyway, like I say, I'm just going to make a small notch in here. Got to get where I can see it better. It don't take much to go overboard. Trying to get where I can see it really good. And I can't. Another case where the sweet spot for these glasses is horrible. Alright, I'm gonna quit that, because that's just fixing to make it worse. Well, I'm fixing to ruin is what I'm fixing to do. So we're down to the hand file now. And actually, hand filing, it doesn't take that long. You just got to be careful. And I know you can't see this. I'm not trying to get you to see it. It's just, I'm just taking this little hand file. And luckily, like I said, the width is just about right. And get it. I did put the dichroom on this piece like I mentioned before. I don't use this stuff very often, but on something that needs to be kind of precise, which I would put this in that category. I used some and inscribed it. See if that fits yet. Try to widen it just a little bit. Depth is about good. It won't take much. Still a little more. Got to be making sure not to cut too deep. You just only file it on the edges, not the bottom, because you don't want to make it too deep. That'll ruin it. It's a pretty precise little fit, although the one in the dash is not perfect by any means. Alright, that's pretty good. Maybe just a little more. I think that'll do it. Okay, that's 2 of the slots. Alright. So 2 of the slots made. I'm gonna make the 3rd one. No sense you watching that. I'll come back when I got them all made and see what we're gonna do to it next. Okay, got it filed out, got it fit together, and there's the bezel, there's the switch, little housing. It's all put together. Hang on, I'll take it apart and show it to you. I can't show the camera, but you know how to do this. You just twist the switch and push in a little spring retainer. That's what that's for. So there's a plate. Good view of it. Got good light. The die component. It's good. Turn the ignition switch the correct way. Fits right in there. So now the next thing to do, I don't have any light in the cab, so this may not show up. I got to get the piece cut out and get ready to weld it in here. So I'm going to be doing that next. Okay, I think I showed I got the panel cut out. Put it back in and weld it in. These little magnets I bought, the little small ones I bought from Amazon. The little small magnets I bought from Amazon look like pawn chess pieces. I like these for stuff like this. They're a lot smaller than the Eastwood magnets. Not a lot, but they are smaller. They're not near as strong as far as the amount of magnetism they have. So little small stuff like this you kind of be picky on. Not picky, that's not the right word. Small stuff that's kind of delicate or intricate like this. Those bigger magnets can sometimes be too much. These little magnets, so far, seem to be about right for stuff like this. Now this is giving me a little bit of a fit here, fitting it. I'm not sure if this thing's got I guess this dash has got a bit of a curve to it, now that I think about it. I know it does, I can see it. So, I need to put a slight curve in this piece I made. And if I do it wrong, it's going to bend right in this slot and put a kink in it. What I'm probably going to do is just tack it in. I got it close. I put a little bend in it just then. That helped. The bezel's right here. I guess if I do it too much, I mean, there's not enough there to see it. So I'm just going to tack it in and let it I'll kind of bend it as I go. But it fits really nice. It's got a pretty tight fit on the edge, on the gaps, which is good. Here's all that shaking stack. Got her, inside thinking her, got her. Well, I have to look at them, I'm sure, not perfect. There's not too much, just enough to cover it up, or make it straight like regular color. got your one up here for that notch. Hopefully it's down the line. I got lots of feet right here. We can look. We'll stop right down the notch. And that'll be a little up fast. Probably, you know, go. We'll not around the, we'll run fast now. It's not working there that quick. So, you know, try down that quick. And so again, I'm going to line. I'm going to go. Sorry. Big jet. Hard seat. Usually go be up here. Or can go. Hard shot. I'll try to show you. How you doing? So I'm going to go like that. Go enough. Get back. I can see this. I'm going to run in here with the you know, take exactly right spot. Right, it's what we're doing. You have to learn anything. I have to try. I don't know how to do it. We're not going to try. I haven't yet though. Maybe works just fine. It's hard to know. Okay, it works. I don't know if it's going to go there. But I think no, second, I'm going to try to. You know, when things will go something, you're not going to know. But it's like here, it's fine. Just make your do that. But it's working. Walk your one down. Okay, try it. I'll never keep up. Try it. Yeah, you're right here. I'm going to get it off. There you go. There you go. You can see on the weld bead, they're not that big, high, lumpy, bumpy. You know, you've seen what bad MIG welds. I've done them. You know, not because I wanted to. The big, high, lumpy, bumpy, big old blobs of weld. You can see these are down. You know, the puddles are small. They're hot. They're down into the metal. I can't get to the back side. I don't know if I got full penetration because I probably wasn't stitching it quite long enough. But I didn't want to burn through it. I had it hot on purpose. So, in this area, this thing is still hot. This piece here is still fine. Everything fits fine. I didn't burn through my slots. So, anyway, the grinding won't be so bad on this because again, I don't have those big old tall blobbed up welds everywhere. I probably should have shown you an example of it when I first started, and I didn't think to do it. So, maybe I'll try to think to do that some other time. But I'm going to grind this down. There's no sense you watching me grind. You've seen me grind before. So I'll get it ground down and I'll come back. I'm going to do exactly what I just showed you. I'm going to use my die grinder. Let's see, come here. Use my die grinder down in this channel because the grinding with this don't fit. I'm going to grind this for the rest of it. So I'll be back. Alright, I got it ground down, as you can see. Here's the bezel. It's like a champ. And just if you're curious, and this is the first time I put this in the truck, so I mean, it shouldn't have any trouble, but that goes in there like that. That's got a bit of a wobble to it, but it's nothing horrible. It's a little bit of shape in that panel. Well, actually I take that back. It is the the notches. I had to get in the notch just right. That's better. And then the switch comes in from the back, or the cylinder, I guess. No, I guess it is a switch. Let's see, which way does it go? Like this. And then, I'm not sure which way's upside down, or right side up. I may be putting this in upside down. Anyway, that's wrong. I think I did this last night outside the truck. Now I can't do it. Hold on. There he goes. I guess I can still have it upside down. But for now, I don't care if it's upside down. I just want to get it in there. There we go. Works. Works like a champ. So anyway, it's in there. It works. So I'm gonna put Oslo on this dash. It's been rusting. Gosh, this thing's been this cab's been sandblasted. It's got to be. Well, probably hadn't been 10. I ain't worked on this thing in 10 years, but it's probably been 8 years. 7 to 8 years. This cab's been sandblasted, and it's slowly gotten surface rust on it from just sitting. Because the epoxy primer I used years ago was old, and I didn't get it on heavy enough for lots of reasons. Anyway, I'm going to strip off all this epoxy primer at some point before and recoat it before I paint the cab. Anyway, I'm going to grab the DA and knock some of this off just because I want to, and put Oslo on. It's already rusting again. You can see the surface rust is already hitting. Here in the south, man, it's humidity. So I'm going to do some of that and put some Oslo on it, and then this little project will be done. One more to cross off the list. So let me grab the DA, and I'll run the camera a few minutes doing that, just for the heck of it. I won't let it run long because you don't need to be seeing that. So just give me a second. Down in these places the DA won't fit, I've got one of these nylon brushes. It replaces it with, like a steel wire brush. These work pretty good. Maybe asking yourself about sandblasting. Yes, that's an option. I've already sandblasted this cab once, like I said, years ago. All I'm doing is getting this little bit of surface rust off and getting the primer back down so I can re-prime it. If I don't have to sandblast it to do that, I'm happy. I'm not sure when I'm putting pressure on this head. I could be ready to do it here pretty soon. But I have more things to do this head and I'm not sure what I'm doing. That's on the apron. I just want to do that spot on it. You can do it. I don't like doing this. I don't like fancy deal. You can start and drink. I feel like a good one. I like that. You like that? Anyway, that's enough of that. So I've still got a handful of metalworking projects to do on this cab before I can call it done and actually shift gears to try to get some primer, maybe some paint on it. So anyway, that's all for now. So as usual, thanks for watching, thanks for looking in. Hope you like what you're seeing, hope maybe you're learning something. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the little like button, all that good stuff, do all the things. And I will catch you on the flip side. See you later.